Don't paint me thankless, just have to say this. Know you down with the way you move. Lost in your fragrance, still makes me anxious. Doesn't feel right not knowing you.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Christy, and today we're going to be talking about self-love, self-care, happiness, and basically because recently I stumbled across an Instagram post and it was talking about how those three things, self-love, self-care, and happiness, they are not found and they are basically created. And that really stuck with me because I think for most of my years and even now sometimes I kind of expect things to happen to me that would make me happy or that would make me feel loved, but eventually I really realized that at the end of the day it's really up to myself if I want to be happy, if I want to show love to myself. And so I thought of this little video to do, and I thought it would be really fun to love ourselves through our 5 love languages. And if you don't know about the 5 love languages, it follows a book by Gary Chapman where he talks about the 5 different ways in which people feel loved and also show love. I know that the 5 love languages are usually talked about in terms of relationships with your significant other, but honestly this applies to any relationship you have, whether that's with your friends, family, your loved ones, or yourself. And so today we're going to be talking about the 5 love languages and how you can use that to show yourself more love. And so we're starting off with acts of service, and this is my number 1 love language. And I think especially growing up in an Asian family household, I think most of the time when my parents choose to show me love, it is through actions. For the acts of service, you want to be doing something that makes your life easier or happier after that task is done. And so for me, I decided to do my laundry. Laundry is always that one thing that I always just push back till the very end, also because I share it with my brother, and so we end up just not doing it for a long time, which is bad, but once I did it, I felt so much better. If you have anything that needs to be done but you've just been putting it off, I highly encourage you to tackle that task, because as much as it is very hard and it's daunting to do it, I assure you that once you get that task done, everything else will seem so much easier, and you got that weight off your shoulder, and it just feels really nice to be able to do something for yourself, for your future self, just to make things easier. And surprisingly, my second love language is receiving gifts. So I really thought about it and I didn't really know what to do, because I'm not the type to spend a lot of money on myself, but at the same time I do kind of treat myself once in a while to something. And so for that day, I decided to treat myself to my very first bubble tea order of the year. And it seems like a small thing, but also because this year one of my goals is to buy less bubble tea, and especially not delivered, because that is so expensive. It's $20 for 2 drinks almost, and so I'm trying my best not to do that. But for this day I did decide to treat myself to a bubble tea, and honestly it tasted so good. It was so good and I don't regret it at all. When I first started treating myself to things more, I just felt so guilty about spending money on myself. But especially if you work and you earn that money yourself, honestly, don't forget to treat yourself. I guess maybe don't think of it as a treat, but it's more so an investment. It's really important to invest in yourself first, and so that can be hobbies, that can be just buying things that will make your life easier, spending more money on skincare instead of makeup. There's so many ways that you can invest in yourself. And next is quality time. And for me, I know everyone has different ideas of what the love language means, but for me, quality time means undivided attention to something or someone you love. And so I decided to stay in bed with my dog, and we were just listening to music and just being cozy and just having a time to just relax. And I think doing that during lots of work and school just gives you a chance to slow down your life. And I always underestimate the power of music. I don't know why I don't do this as often, but like music can just change my mood so much. Like if I'm feeling down, I would go and listen to 2000s throwbacks. If I'm feeling like I need an energy boost, I would go listen to like some K-pop or like dance around my room. And so music just changes a lot for me, and I think everyone probably has their own version of that. I'm not saying music works for everyone, and so I highly encourage everyone to find that one thing that just makes you feel so at home and like loved, even if you're spending time by yourself. As an introvert, after being stuck at home for almost like a year now, I think we're at like 10 months, I honestly am struggling already. So if you're an extroverted friend, I want to give you a hug. Like I feel like I hope you guys are doing okay, and if you need someone to talk to, I'm always here. And yeah, like we're all in this together. I can't wait to be able to go outside, but in the meantime, we have to do our part. Stay home, stay safe, wear a mask, and yeah. And next up, we have words of affirmation, and this one I honestly didn't know the importance of until recently, and because now I truly believe that affirmations and manifestation, those are all real. And it's mostly because I realized that when I get in a really bad place and I tell myself bad things about myself, it just gets worse and worse and worse. But if I do the opposite and I tell myself more positive things, I get more positive and more positive, and goes on. So words of affirmation can honestly be practiced in so many ways, whether that's through written or spoken affirmations, mantras, or maybe guided meditations. There are so many things that you can do to make yourself feel better through words, but I think the most important is just to be kind to yourself in the way that we think and we talk about ourselves. I know, especially for me, I tend to self-sabotage and I'd say really like negative things to myself, and that over time can be very damaging to our journey of self-love and self-care. And so I highly recommend you, if you are doing some sort of journaling or you're saying your words of affirmation, to just keep in mind that this is a space to be positive, and more importantly, just like welcoming of yourself and being kind to yourself, even if you have like negative thoughts or that type of thing. So even if you're going through a bad day, don't tell yourself that like this is all like your fault or anything. Like try to remind yourself that it is okay to have a bad day, and that it's not necessarily your fault, and that things can and they will get better. And so that's how I use words of affirmation. I tell myself that it's gonna be okay, like I'm strong and I can do it. And I think it's a very powerful way to get through different moments that we feel like we can't do anything. But yeah, last but not least, my like smallest, I guess, love language is physical touch. And I don't know, it's just weird. I don't think about physical touch that much. I never told anyone this, but when I'm with my friends, I actually don't really like being touched, but I'm trying to be okay with it because I feel like I do sometimes regret not hugging my friends as much and like holding their hands, because that was something that I would never do in high school. I just thought it was weird how friends, not that they couldn't hug, but when I hug people, I just feel so awkward. Like I'm like, I don't know. So physical touch is like not my strong suit. But like if you're just by yourself and you don't have anyone like next to you, you don't have like a pet, there are actual ways that you can make yourself feel a little bit more loved and like warm and fuzzy through like something that is associated with a sense of touch. And so for me, my favorite thing to do is a mask or just some kind of spa treatment night, because this honestly is a treat for myself, especially if you are working, if you're a university student. You know how crazy the nights can be, and sometimes I'm procrastinating and doing last minute work, and so when I sleep I just end up doing the bare minimum and then I go to bed. Sometimes I don't even take off my makeup, and so having that time to give yourself a little spa treatment and a mask at nighttime before bed is such a big deal. And it's funny because for me, I don't do it for my skin, and it's more so for my mental health. And just having a mask on and sitting down quietly for like 10-15 minutes makes me so relaxed, and it's just nice to be able to do that for yourself. For me, 2021 has started on a rough patch, and I'm hoping things will get better, and it will if I put my effort into it. But that just goes to show how important it is to be taking care of ourselves and the people around us every single day, because every single day that we're given, we should be very grateful for. And yeah, I highly encourage everyone to try this out. And if you do, please let me know how you think, if it worked for you, if it doesn't. This is just me kind of sharing the things that I'm going through and what I've been trying and experimenting with, because we're all growing, we're all on our own personal growth journey. And so yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really hope to make more of these soon. I actually might lean off on my vlogs just because I want to make higher quality videos, but let me know what you think. I'm still like starting, so I'm very open to your opinions and your comments, your criticisms. Anything is super helpful. And yeah, that is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.
Sin or shy, I wanna know your name.